There is a tendency in human nature to look for dramatic change, something big, immediate, and transformational that produces instant results. People often believe that if they could just find the perfect solution, the perfect diet, the perfect breakthrough, everything would shift overnight. But the truth operates very differently. Real, lasting transformation, especially within the body, does not come from intensity, it comes from consistency. What you do occasionally has very little impact compared to what you do every single day. Your body does not respond to isolated efforts, it responds to patterns, it responds to repeated signals, to habits that are practiced over and over again until they become part of your identity. This is where the real power lies, not in doing something extraordinary once, but in doing something simple consistently. Think about how your body processes change. Every day it is collecting information from your actions. Every meal you eat, every choice you make is interpreted as a signal. When you repeat the same type of input again and again, your body begins to adapt. It adjusts its internal processes to match the pattern you are creating. This is how habits shape biology. This is how small actions turn into measurable results. When you introduce a powerful, nourishing food into your daily routine, something subtle but significant begins to happen. At first, it may not seem like much. One serving, one day, one small decision. It feels almost insignificant. But the body is always paying attention. It begins to recognize the pattern. It starts to use those nutrients more efficiently. It begins to rely on that consistent input as part of its repair and maintenance system. Over time, this creates momentum. The benefits start to accumulate, layer by layer. What once felt like a small action begins to produce noticeable results. Energy becomes more stable. The body feels more balanced. Systems begin to function more smoothly. And it all traces back to the simple act of repeating a supportive behavior consistently. There is a principle at work here that extends beyond the physical body. It is the principle of compounding. Just like small financial investments grow over time when they are consistently added to, your daily health choices build upon each other. One good choice leads to another. One positive action reinforces the next. Before long, you are no longer relying on willpower alone, you are operating from a place of habit. This is where identity begins to shift. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who is trying to be healthy, you begin to see yourself as someone who simply lives that way. The action becomes natural. It becomes automatic. And when something becomes part of who you are, it no longer feels like effort. It feels like alignment. Many people underestimate this process because it lacks excitement in the beginning. It does not provide immediate gratification. It requires patience, trust, and a willingness to stay committed even when the results are not instantly visible. But this is exactly why it works. Because while others are constantly starting and stopping, searching for quick fixes and temporary solutions, the person who remains consistent is quietly building something powerful beneath the surface. Your body thrives on stability. It responds best when it receives clear, repeated signals over time. When you eat a healing food once in a while, your body benefits briefly. But when you make it part of your daily routine, your body begins to depend on it. It integrates those nutrients into its ongoing processes. It uses them to repair, to strengthen, to optimize function on a continuous basis. This is particularly important when it comes to reducing internal stress and supporting long-term health. The body does not shift from imbalance to balance in a single moment. It transitions gradually, responding to the environment you create for it day after day. Consistency is what allows that transition to take place. It provides the steady input needed for your body to recalibrate and restore itself. There is also a psychological component to this. Each time you follow through on a positive habit, you reinforce a belief in yourself. You build trust in your ability to take action. This confidence carries over into other areas of your life, making it easier to maintain other healthy behaviors. What starts as one small habit can expand into a broader lifestyle shift simply because you have proven to yourself that you can stay consistent. It is important to understand that consistency does not mean perfection. There will be days when you fall short, when you miss the mark, when things do not go exactly as planned. That is part of the process. What matters is not whether you are perfect, but whether you return to the pattern. Whether you continue to show up again and again, reinforcing the habit over time. The real transformation happens in the repetition. It happens in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you make the choice that aligns with your long-term vision instead of your immediate desire. These moments may seem small, but they are shaping your future in a very real way. As the days turn into weeks and the weeks turn into months, The results of your consistency begin to reveal themselves more clearly. What once required effort now feels natural. What once seemed insignificant now shows measurable impact. Your body reflects the pattern you have created. It becomes stronger, more efficient, more resilient. And all of this stems from a simple truth. Small daily habits, when practiced consistently, have the power to create profound biological change. They influence how your body functions at the deepest level, guiding it toward greater balance, improved performance, and long-term vitality. Most people move through life believing their body is something fixed, something they simply have to live with as it is. But that idea is deeply misleading. Your body is not a static object. It is a living, dynamic system that is constantly rebuilding, repairing, and replacing itself at every moment of every day. Right now, as you sit here, millions of cells in your body are dying and being replaced by new ones. Your skin renews itself, your blood regenerates, even parts of your internal organs are continuously undergoing repair. This means that the body you have today is not the same body you had months ago, and it certainly won't be the same body you have in the future. Now think about what that really means. If your body is always in a process of renewal, then the raw materials you provided every single day become the building blocks of who you are becoming. Every bite of food you consume is not just fuel for energy, it is information, it is instruction. It is a signal that tells your body how to build, how to repair, and how to function. When you begin to understand this, your relationship with food starts to shift. You're no longer eating just to satisfy hunger or cravings. You're participating in the creation of your own biology. At the deepest level, your body operates through incredibly complex systems, and one of the most fascinating aspects is how your cells respond to nutrients. Certain foods contain compounds that communicate directly with your cells, influencing how they behave. They can activate protective mechanisms, support repair processes, and even influence how your genes express themselves. This is where the idea of supporting your DNA comes into play. Your DNA is like a blueprint, but it is not rigid or unchangeable. It responds to your environment, your lifestyle, and especially to what you consistently put into your body. When you provide your body with nutrient-dense, whole foods, rich in antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and natural compounds, you are essentially giving your cells the tools they need to repair damage and function optimally. Antioxidants, for example, help neutralize harmful molecules that can damage your cells and your DNA. Over time, this kind of support reduces stress within the body at a cellular level, allowing your natural repair systems to operate more efficiently. On the other hand, when your diet lacks these essential nutrients, or when it is filled with processed, artificial, or inflammatory substances, your body still tries to rebuild itself, but it does so with lower quality materials. Imagine trying to construct a building using weak, damaged bricks. The structure may still stand, but it won't be as strong, resilient, or long-lasting. The same principle applies to your body. The quality of what you consume directly affects the quality of the cells being produced. This ongoing process of renewal gives you a tremendous advantage because it means change is always possible. No matter where you are starting from, your body is already designed to improve itself. It is already working for you, not against you. The key is to align your daily choices with that natural process. When you begin to consistently provide your body with what it needs, you start to shift the internal environment in a powerful way. It's important to recognize that this is not about perfection, it's about direction. Each time you choose a nourishing, healing food, you are casting a vote for stronger cells, better function, and greater vitality. These choices accumulate. They compound over time. What may seem insignificant in a single moment becomes incredibly significant when repeated day after day. There's also something empowering about realizing that you are not at the mercy of your genetics. Many people believe that their DNA determines their destiny, that if certain conditions run in their family, there is little they can do. But modern understanding shows that while genes may load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. The foods you eat can influence how those genes behave, whether they are activated in a positive way or suppressed in a negative one. When you start to see food as a tool for communication with your body, everything changes. You become more intentional. You begin to ask different questions. Not, what do I feel like eating right now? But what does my body need to build something better? This shift in awareness is where transformation begins. Your body is incredibly intelligent. It knows how to repair, how to restore, and how to maintain balance, but it relies on you to provide the right inputs. Every meal is an opportunity to support that intelligence or to work against it. Every choice either contributes to stronger, healthier cells or to weaker, more stressed ones. Over time, as you consistently choose foods that support cellular repair and reduce internal stress, you begin to notice changes. Energy levels improve. Your ability to focus sharpens. You feel more resilient, more capable, more in control of your well-being. These are not random improvements. They are the natural result of giving your body what it needs to do, what it is already designed to do. This understanding places you in a position of power. Instead of feeling limited by your current condition, you begin to see possibility. Instead of reacting to symptoms, you start influencing the underlying processes. You become an active participant in your own transformation, shaping your health from the inside out through the simple, consistent act of choosing what you put on your plate every single day. There is something happening inside the body of almost every person today, and most people are completely unaware of it. It does not always come with loud warning signs. It does not always demand immediate attention. Yet over time, it quietly influences how you feel, how you function, and how your body ages. This process is known as chronic inflammation, and it operates beneath the surface, often going unnoticed until it has already created significant imbalance. Inflammation, in its natural form, is not the enemy. In fact, it is one of the body's most intelligent defense mechanisms. When you get injured or exposed to harmful substances, your body activates acute inflammation to protect you and begin the healing process. This is a good thing. It is necessary. It is part of how your body survives and recovers. But the problem begins when this response does not switch off. When inflammation becomes constant, lingering in the background day after day, it transforms into something harmful. This long-term state begins to wear down the body. It creates stress at a cellular level, interfering with normal function and damaging tissues over time. You may not feel it immediately, but it shows up in subtle ways: fatigue that doesn't go away, brain fog, stiffness in the body, weakened immunity, and eventually more serious health challenges. Many modern health conditions are closely linked to this persistent inflammatory state, making it one of the most important issues to address if you want to improve your overall well-being. Now, here is where the real shift in understanding takes place. Most people try to manage inflammation after it becomes a problem. They look for quick fixes, temporary relief, or ways to suppress symptoms. But the real power lies in influencing the environment inside your body before things escalate. And one of the most direct ways to do that is through what you consistently eat. Every food you consume either contributes to inflammation or helps reduce it. There is no neutral ground. Highly processed foods, excessive sugar, artificial ingredients, and unhealthy fats tend to increase inflammatory activity in the body. They create stress, disrupt balance, and make it harder for your system to regulate itself. On the other hand, whole, natural foods, especially those rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds, work in the opposite direction. They help calm the system, reduce cellular stress, and support healing. Certain foods stand out because of their powerful ability to influence this process. These foods contain natural compounds that interact directly with your body's internal systems. They don't just provide nutrients, they send signals. They help regulate how your immune system responds, how your cells communicate, and how effectively your body can repair itself. Over time, this creates a noticeable shift in how your body feels and functions. What makes this even more powerful is the cumulative effect. One healthy meal will not instantly eliminate inflammation, just as one unhealthy meal will not create it overnight. But repeated patterns shape your internal environment. When you consistently choose foods that reduce inflammation, you begin to create conditions where your body can thrive. You lower the constant stress signals, allowing your natural repair mechanisms to operate more efficiently. There is also a strong connection between inflammation and how your cells age. When inflammation remains elevated, it accelerates cellular wear and tear. It affects how your cells divide, how they repair damage, and how they maintain their structure. This is why chronic inflammation is often associated with premature aging, both internally and externally. By reducing inflammation through your daily choices, you are not only improving how you feel now, but also influencing how your body will function in the future. Another important aspect to understand is how inflammation affects energy. When your body is in a constant state of internal stress, it uses up more resources just trying to maintain balance. This leaves you feeling drained, even if you are getting enough rest. By lowering inflammation, you free up that energy. Your body can redirect it toward growth, repair, and optimal performance. This is why people often notice increased vitality and clarity when they shift toward anti-inflammatory foods. The connection between inflammation and the immune system is equally significant. When inflammation is constantly active, it can confuse and weaken your immune response. Your body becomes less efficient at distinguishing between real threats and harmless stimuli. Over time, this can lead to increased susceptibility to illness or even inappropriate immune reactions. By supporting your body with the right foods, you help restore balance, allowing your immune system to function as it was designed to. What is truly remarkable is how responsive the body is once you begin making these changes. It does not take years to start seeing benefits. In many cases, as you consistently reduce inflammatory triggers and introduce supportive nutrients, your body begins to adjust relatively quickly. You may notice improved digestion, better focus, more stable energy levels, and an overall sense of lightness and ease within your system. This is not about restriction or deprivation, it is about alignment. It is about understanding that your body is always responding to what you give it, and choosing to provide inputs that support its natural intelligence. When you begin to approach food with this awareness, you move from reacting to problems toward creating solutions at their source. The idea that one specific food consumed regularly can help reduce inflammation is rooted in this larger principle. It is not magic, it is consistency. It is the repeated action of giving your body something that works in harmony with its design. Over time, this simple habit can influence complex systems, shifting your internal state in a powerful and lasting way. And as this shift takes place, you begin to experience something that many people are searching for but few truly understand: a body that feels balanced, responsive, and capable of supporting the life you want to live. Most people have been conditioned to think about food in the simplest possible way, as something that satisfies hunger, something that tastes good, something that fills a moment of craving or comfort. Eating becomes automatic, almost unconscious. You feel hungry, you reach for something. You feel bored, you snack. You feel stressed, you look for something to soothe that feeling. In this pattern, food is reduced to a quick response, a temporary solution to an immediate sensation. But there is a much deeper level of awareness available, one that completely transforms your relationship with what you eat. It begins with a simple but powerful shift in perspective, moving from eating to fill toward eating to heal and energize your body. This shift changes not only your choices, but the meaning behind those choices. When you start to see food as a source of healing, everything becomes more intentional. You begin to recognize that every meal carries potential. It can either support your body or work against it. It can either contribute to clarity and strength or to fatigue and imbalance. This awareness creates a pause between impulse and action. Instead of reacting automatically, you start to choose deliberately. This does not mean you stop enjoying food. In fact, it often leads to a deeper appreciation for it. You begin to value foods not just for their taste, but for how they make you feel afterward. You notice the difference between temporary pleasure and lasting energy. You become more attuned to your body's responses, more aware of what truly nourishes you and what drains you. There is also a shift in responsibility that comes with this mindset. You stop looking outside yourself for quick fixes and start recognizing your role in shaping your own well-being. Food is no longer something that just happens to you. It becomes a tool you can use with purpose. Each choice becomes an opportunity to support your body's natural processes, to give it what it needs to function at its best. This way of thinking requires a certain level of awareness, because the environment around you often encourages the opposite. Convenience is prioritized over quality, speed is valued over nourishment. Many options are designed to satisfy cravings instantly, without considering long-term effects. To shift your mindset, you have to become more conscious of these influences and decide with clarity what aligns with your goals. When you begin to eat with the intention of healing, you naturally gravitate toward foods that are rich in nutrients, foods that provide real value to your body. You start asking different questions, not "what do I feel like right now?" but "what will support my energy? What will help my body function better? What will contribute to my long-term health?" These questions guide your decisions in a more empowering direction. This shift also changes how you experience hunger. Instead of seeing it as something to quickly eliminate, you begin to see it as a signal, your body communicating a need. And rather than silencing that signal with whatever is most convenient, you respond with something that truly meets that need. This creates a more respectful, cooperative relationship with your body, where you are listening and responding rather than ignoring and overriding. Over time, this approach builds a stronger connection between your mind and your body. You become more aware of subtle changes, how certain foods affect your energy levels, your focus, your mood. You begin to notice patterns. You recognize what helps you feel clear, steady, and capable, and what leaves you feeling sluggish or distracted. This awareness allows you to make more informed choices, not based on rules or restrictions, but on direct experience. There is also a sense of empowerment that comes with this shift. You begin to realize that you are not dependent on external solutions to feel better. You have the ability to influence your own state through the choices you make every day. Food becomes one of the most immediate and accessible ways to do that. It is something you engage with multiple times a day, which means it offers repeated opportunities to support your well-being. As this mindset becomes more established, your habits begin to change naturally. You no longer feel the same pull toward foods that do not serve you because your focus has shifted. You are not just thinking about the moment, you are thinking about the outcome. You are considering how you want to feel not just now, but later. This broader perspective makes it easier to choose in alignment with your goals. It is important to understand that this is not about restriction or discipline in the traditional sense. It is not about forcing yourself to follow a rigid plan. It is about developing a deeper understanding of cause and effect. When you see clearly how your choices influence your experience, you are more likely to choose what supports you. The motivation comes from within, not from external pressure. This shift also extends beyond physical health. When your body is properly nourished, your mind benefits as well. Clarity improves, focus becomes sharper, emotional stability increases. You feel more grounded, more present, more capable of handling challenges. This creates a positive cycle where improved physical state supports better mental and emotional function, which in turn reinforces healthier choices. In essence, changing your mindset around food is about reclaiming control. It is about moving from unconscious behavior to conscious action. It is about recognizing that what you eat is not just affecting your body in the moment, but shaping your overall experience of life. When you approach food with this level of awareness, it becomes more than just a daily routine. It becomes a powerful tool for transformation, one choice at a time.